All right, in today's video, the NBA Cup playoffs start tonight with OKC Dallas and Milwaukee Orlando, and I think this is the perfect time to predict the Emirates NBA Cup playoffs and basically break down who I think is going to win this whole thing, walk home with the in-season tournament, and maybe put up a banner like the Lakers did last season. We will have to wait and see on that part. But excited to talk about these NBA Cup matchups, and I think we are going to have some really, really good, really fun games over the next week. Look, me personally, I don't know how y'all feel as NBA fans about the NBA Cup. I think it's awesome. I really do. I think anything that adds added stress, added tension, added meaning to regular season games is, in my opinion, a good thing. And I think we have some really fun matchups as well that I think are going to heighten that tension even more and make these games even more fun and even more meaningful for the NBA fan over this next week or so. So before we hop into it, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 2,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I'm uploading multiple videos every single day. Would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. Appreciate all y'all support helping me hit 1K. And yeah, without further ado, let's hop right into it. We're going to start off with tonight's matchups. Obviously, Oklahoma City versus Dallas and Milwaukee Orlando. And I think we'll start off with the more exciting of the two matchups. And call me biased, but Oklahoma City versus Dallas is about the perfect game I think that you could draw up to start off the NBA Cup. Obviously, to be fair, it's the second game of the night, but this is going to be an incredible basketball game. We have two of the best teams in the entire sport, two serious, legit championship contending teams. I would say if you were looking at the Western Conference right now and going, who are the two best teams in this conference? I think most people would go with Oklahoma City and Dallas. Dallas has won, 7 in a row, 11 of their last 12. Oklahoma City also having an incredible year with 18 wins to only 5 losses, have won 7 out of their last 10, 3 in a row as well, have the best net rating in the league. This is a matchup of arguably the two best teams in the Western Conference, and I think in most people's minds are the two best squads in the West so far this season. Now, I will say this, as I record this video, I am not aware of whether or not PJ Washington or Naji Marshall will be available to play for the Mavs, and Maxi Kleber's already out. Jaden Hardy's already out. Both those guys have been announced out. I don't think Hardy's the biggest loss because they will have Luka, Kyrie, and Dinwiddie. But if the Mavs don't have PJ Washington, Naji Marshall, or Maxi Kleber, that's a really tough spot to be because that's pretty much all their power forward rotation, which would put a lot of stress on a guy like Olivier Maxence Prosper to step up and probably have to play a big role. It would require the Mavs, I think, to play pretty small as well. We might see some Klay Thompson at the 4, Quentin Grimes at the 4, really undersized matchups for the Mavs. But if we're talking about undersized, that's the Oklahoma City Thunder in a nutshell. Besides Isaiah Hartenstein, this is not a big team. They're not really a team that's going to beat you to death with physicality. What they're going to do is play incredible defense, super versatile. SGA is going to make a ton of shots. They're a really unselfish team. They move the ball really well. This Thunder team is elite, and I think that they are probably realistic. I mean, they were my championship prediction before the season, right? But at the end of the day, I'm a Mavs fan, so I'm biased. Now, I will say this. If PJ Washington and Naji Marshall play, I'm leaning towards the Mavs winning because the Thunder not having Chet Holmgren and the Mavs having played as well as they have recently, not to mention the fact PJ Washington clearly just has Oklahoma City's number. He had an incredible game against them earlier this season, was easily the X factor in beating them last season. His size and physicality as well against SGA as that on-ball defender, like nobody can stop SGA, but of all the defenders in the league, he's one of the guys who I think is more physically equipped to at least make SGA work and slow him down to a certain extent. And if he is able to play, and again, I don't know if he's playing or not, but I'm going to assume that he and Naji Marshall are playing in these predictions. If they don't play, well, that changes things. But for right now, because of the PJ Washington X factor that the Mavs have and Chet Holmgren's injury, as well as just how incredible Luka's played since he came back from injury, his past 4 games, he's averaging 30, 11, and 10 on really good efficiency. The Mavs are absolutely rolling right now. They look to have incredible chemistry, are playing pretty much perfectly together. Even Klay Thompson had a big game against the Raptors earlier this week. I'm going with the hot hands right now. I know both these teams are hot, but the Mavs are really hot. And this game matters to both these squads, but I'm leaning Dallas. Call me biased if you want. If PJ Washington and Naji Marshall play, which is what I'm counting on in this video, I am predicting the Dallas Mavericks to win that game. Now, I have spent plenty of time on that first matchup, so we're going to try to get through these other matchups a little bit quicker. Milwaukee and Orlando, here's the unfortunate part about this matchup. Orlando's just not healthy at all. Franz Wagner's out, going to be out for the next couple months. Paulo Banchero is still out for another month. The Magic have just been absolutely cursed with injuries, and even though they're a great defensive team and likely will still put on a very good defensive performance against the Bucks, I don't think they have the offensive firepower to keep up, especially with Damian Lillard healthy, Giannis healthy, Chris Middleton finally having returned for the Bucks as well. The Bucks, I just think, are too deep and too offensively talented right now to really, maybe not even depth, but just in terms of star power depth. They have so much more scoring punch right now than the Magic do. I just think the Magic are going to have a tough time competing without Franz or Paulo. To me, that game's kind of a no-brainer. I feel like that goes Milwaukee pretty easily. Now, Houston Golden State, another budding rivalry of sorts. Always great to watch Steph Curry, obviously, on a national stage. The Houston Rockets have been awesome, one of the darlings of the NBA season as well. That's a game that I think will be really fun, and I think will be very competitive. The Warriors did get the better of the Rockets last week in a close competitive matchup. For me, the biggest question is going to be, how is Wiggins' ankle? Is he expected to play? I'm honestly not sure as I record this video what the expectation is there. But I do think, yes, the Warriors won this last matchup. I think I'm giving it to the Rockets. They're going to be the home team. I feel like they're going to have something to prove for sure. Number one, the in-season tournament means the NBA Cup means a lot to these guys. A lot of young talent on that Warriors team or on that Rockets team. Sure, it's going to be another competitive, hotly contested game, but this time I think the Rockets are going to get the job done. So I'm leaning towards a Mavs-Rockets semifinals in the West. And out East, we got Milwaukee versus either the Knicks or the Hawks. Hawks have been playing great basketball as of late, much better these last couple weeks after a relatively rough start to this season. But at the same time, look, Trae Young, in a lot of ways, kind of owns the Knicks, and it's back in New York. You know, Trae loves playing against New York after that playoff series where he kind of decimated them a couple years ago. But here's the honest truth, y'all. This ain't the same Knicks team. I think this Knicks team is playing great as well. It's another team that's starting to hit their stride, I feel like, at the right time. Karl-Anthony Towns is having a great year. Jalen Brunson's efficiency is incredible. Speaking of efficiency, guys like Josh Hart are having ridiculous years. OG Anunoby has been awesome. Mikal Bridges has been better as of late. I know the Knicks don't have top tier depth in terms of like a 1 through 10, but their 1 through 6, 1 through 7 is phenomenal. And I do believe that they are going to be able to get the job done against the Hawks. We'll see if Dyson Daniels is able to slow down Jalen Brunson, if Clint Capella and Onyeka Okongwu can keep Cat off the glass and prevent him from being the game wrecker that he's been able to be recently. If the Hawks can do those two things, they're going to have a good chance. But I'm leaning towards the Knicks winning that game this time and getting their revenge against Trae Young. So that gives us a Dallas Houston semifinal and a Milwaukee New York semifinal. Two really good semifinal matchups that will be happening this weekend on Saturday. If Dallas does play Houston, my prediction, again, call me a homer if you want, I think the Mavs are better. I think Luka and Kyrie are just at a slightly different level than this Rockets team is to this point in the year. The Rockets did beat the Mavs early in the season before the Mavs really turned it on. They were actually up a lot in the third quarter. Mavs came storming back from down something like 24. I believe it was on Halloween, actually. They were down a bunch and managed to come back and make it a super close game down the stretch. Look, the Rockets have had a great year. The Mavs are they're the hotter team right now. They're playing the better basketball all the way around. All things considered, again, you can call me biased all you want, but it's hard to pick against my Mavs right now with the way they're playing. Like, I'm not sitting here and saying the Rockets have been bad, but they're 6-4 in their last 10. Mavs have won 11 of the last 12, playing unbelievably high level basketball. And with 2 days off as well between Wednesday and Saturday, that'll give the Mavs even more opportunity to get fully healthy from whatever illness is kind of going around still with that team. Thank you, Jimmy Butler. Anyways, call me a homer. I think the Mavs make the NBA Cup Finals. I really do. I'm trying to say I'm biased too, and I really think winner of OKC Dallas, no matter what, is making the NBA Cup Finals. Realistically, if OKC beats the Mavs, I think they beat Houston as well. The other semifinal matchup, not as easy. I mean, neither of them are easy, to be fair, but Milwaukee versus the Knicks is a really good game. Will be a super competitive matchup, no doubt about it. I do kind of worry about who's going to stop Giannis when it comes to the Knicks. It's going to be a group effort for sure, but Giannis has been playing so well, and I don't really think Cat matches up great against him defensively. That feels like barbecue chicken for Giannis, as good as Cat has been this year. And so I kind of worry where the stops are going to come from for the Knicks, and with the Bucks playing better as of late, getting Chris Middleton back, there's more depth to that team now. I mean, look, Jalen Brunson, Cat, OG, Josh Hart, all those guys going to play 44 minutes. Like, they're going to get the best out of their starters, and they're going to get a lot out of their starters. But hey, this might be an upset prediction. I think I got Milwaukee winning that matchup. And so for me, the finals would be Dallas versus Milwaukee. And in the finals of the NBA Cup, if we get Luka versus Giannis, I would think the NBA will be pretty happy with that. Even if it's SGA Giannis, the NBA would be pretty happy with that one as well. Two of the premier stars of the league going at it in a best of one for all the marbles. And hey, call me biased. I think the Western Conference team gets the job done, whether it's the Mavs or the Thunder. But for me, it's the Mavs are my prediction that I think will win the finals of the NBA Cup. I just think the Mavs are more consistent on both ends of the court right now. Their defense has been really high level. Look, nobody is stopping Giannis. Just like I say, nobody is stopping Shea, especially the way Giannis is playing this year. But again, the Mavs have the roster and the personnel to make it tough. PJ Washington, look, he's no Giannis, but he's been incredible defensively and provides real physicality. Having centers like Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively who are going to provide that rim protection, rebounding to prevent second possessions, the ability to hopefully slow down Giannis as well and force him into tougher shots around the rim. The Mavs roster is just so well equipped, I feel like, compared to most teams in the NBA to attempt to stop Giannis. Look, stopping Damian Lillard too is going to be a tough matchup, no doubt about it. But I don't think that the Bucks at the end of the day are all that elite of a defensive team. Have a hard time seeing guys like Gary Trent Jr., Chris Middleton, whoever else gets assigned to Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic being able to really slow him down. And look, if Dame winds up having to guard Kyrie, that's going to be tough. Like Giannis isn't going to be guarding Luka. Whoever's guarding Luka is going to be tough. That's going to be a hard pressed matchup for that player to win as well. I think the Mavs are the more complete team right now. And yeah, I think it'll be Mavs or Thunder. Let's just put it that way. Winner of Mavs Thunder in the first round, I think wins the whole NBA Cup. That is my prediction right now. And it's going to be fascinating to watch though, because it's best of one. Anything can happen. Last year, the Pacers shocked the Celtics in the first round of the wild card for the playoffs. So we're going to see what happens. Anything can happen in a best of one game. But for me, my prediction is the Mavericks over the Bucks in the finals of the NBA Cup. That is going to do it for today's video. I hope y'all did enjoy. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I will be back with more NBA content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.